Hello everyone and welcome to the Mylio Photos Coffee Break. My name is Angela Andrew. I'm a product evangelist for Mylio and here to make sure that you guys are successful with the software. Today we're going to be talking about the different ways to find your photos in Mylio. So once you've taken all this time to import all your media, let's say you want to find something specific, we're going to show you how to do that today with the 3 different tools we have inside of Mylio: the search, filter, and find. Before we jump into today's topic, I want to also let you know that we have Lori Rubin. She is in the chat. She's going to be adding some helpful links as we go through, making sure I don't miss any of your questions. If you have questions for today's session, we'll have time at the end for some open Q&A. You can ask me questions about today's topic or really anything else related to Mylio Photos. It doesn't have to be on the day's topic, so you're welcome to ask questions. We also have some great other programs that you guys are always welcome to attend. We have Lori's Ready, Set, Go program, which happens Monday through Friday every week. There's a morning and afternoon session or a self-paced option if those times don't work for you. You're going to go to mylio.com/ready-set-go, and that's where you're going to find this entire program we've built just for new users. So if you're just getting started with Mylio Photos and you need some help making sure you get everything set up correctly and just learning some of the basics, make sure you check that out. It's awesome. Also, we have live Q&A sessions, just open Q&A every Tuesday and Thursday. It's kind of an open office hours. You can just drop in and ask your questions. It's at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, so please feel free to join us for those as well. And then every Friday we have these coffee breaks at 11:30 a.m. Pacific. Next week, we're going to be talking about sorting and rating with Quick Review in Mylio Photos. So this is a really cool tool that probably doesn't get enough attention. It's very helpful in going through and picking your best photos, making sure things get rated, because that's kind of a process that a lot of us put off. So we'll talk about that more next Friday. So with that, let's go ahead and switch into today's topic. And we have when to search, filter, or find in Mylio Photos. So Mylio Photos has 3 distinct tools to help you find things when you need them. The first one is dynamic search. And this is the one that searches across your entire library. And we're going to go ahead and do a demo of this, but I just kind of want to talk through the kind of overall concepts of what these are. So when we bring media into Mylio Photos, we call dynamic indexing the process of Mylio scanning all of those photos and finding all of the important information that is part of those images. So it happens during import. All of this information is scanned locally, so none of this is going out to the Mylio servers. It's all private to your machine, and the information is stored in your catalog or the database file that is the backend that runs your Mylio. So what it looks for is AI smart tags. It goes through and it does AI object recognition on your pictures. It does optical character recognition, or OCR. Basically what that means is it's looking for legible text in your photos, and it actually can read and search text. It also does face detection. It goes through and it looks for visible faces, recognizable faces. It looks at the image metadata of every image, and that includes your camera information. So camera EXIF is the model of the camera that was used, and the lens and the focal length and all of those different things. That's the camera EXIF. It also looks at your user added IPTC information. That can be anything from your titles and captions and keywords to many, many other things that you may have added to the photo in the past. It also, if you've taken the time to add a copyright and ownership information of a photo, that is also scanned as well. Finally, it also will scan and store the GPS information of each photo. So if, for instance, if you took it with your cell phone, most of us have location information turned on by default in our cell phones. All of that information is readable by Mylio Photos. Or if you've taken the time to manually add location information to your images, that is searchable as well. So that's what we call dynamic indexing, is this process as you import media, Mylio looks at all of these different facets and stores that information. And that's one of the reasons why imports can take a little while with Mylio, is because it's doing all of these things in the background and making sure all of that information is available for when you need to search. And because that's done at the front, later on when you need to search, that search is super duper fast. So that's to search through your entire library. We have dynamic search and dynamic indexing. Next up, we have our quick filters. And these are going to be in the left-hand column there of the user interface in Mylio Photos. And this helps you narrow down the results. So you start with a search, and then you can use quick filters to narrow what's showing on the screen. And then finally, we have the find feature. So once you're onto a specific page, let's say you're in people view and you want to find a specific person on that page. That's where the find command comes in really handy. And you can get to that by using the Control or Command F keyboard shortcut, and it's also in the More menu. So let's go ahead and jump into Mylio. I'm going to point out where all of these things live. So if you want to go to dynamic search, that's going to be up here in the upper left corner, the little magnifying glass icon. And that's going to pop you into dynamic search. And as you do a search, it's going to go through and pull up all of the different things that match what you searched for. So at the top, you're going to see photos that match your search, people that match your search, folders, places, events, and albums. Right now, I don't have anything up here in my search term, so it's actually showing me my entire library. But as soon as I search for something, it's going to go ahead and show me exactly what it is I searched for. Now over here on the left, we have quick filters. If you're not seeing those, make sure you click the little funnel icon here at the bottom. And that's going to go ahead and open up that quick filters panel. And you can see there are a lot of different parameters that you can narrow the results by. Once you've narrowed those results, if you're still looking for something specific, that is where that find tool comes in handy. So if you go ahead and hit Control or Command F, you'll see that it pops up a little find tool. So kind of the best way to envision this is if you pull up a web browser, and I'm going to go ahead and just pull up Safari here really quick, which is my web browser. And I'm going to go to Amazon because that's a tool that probably a lot of us use for our shopping. And we've all had experience trying to find something specific here. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to look for some Halloween decorations for my house. Let's just say that that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it really broad here in my overall search. Up here at the top, this is like using dynamic search in Mylio. And I'm just going to type in Halloween and type enter. So this brings up a very generalized search of everything related to Halloween on Amazon. You can see it's coming up with over 100,000 results, and that's way too many. So that's when I'm going to use filters, or in the case of Mylio, quick filters, to narrow that down. Let's say I want to get only things that are available on Prime, and I'm going to scroll down here and I want things that are highly rated. That's kind of like using those star ratings in Mylio. And I'm actually looking for home decor. So let's go ahead and see if we can find the departments here. Let's go to back here to any department. And I want to go to home decor. So that's going to narrow that even further. And I'm also shopping on a bit of a budget. So let's go ahead and pull this down to, I don't want to spend more than $50 on any one thing. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we have narrowed those results to show us specific things. So instead of showing me 100,000 things, it's now only showing me 50,000 things. So we can get more and more specific and say, okay, under home decor, let's look at, what do we want to look at here? Let's look at decorative pillows. Those are fun. Okay, now when it comes to something for Halloween, I'm more of an autumn and fall person than I am Halloween. So I'm not so much on the ghoulish type of stuff. I want to find things that have cats and pumpkins and cute things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a find, and that's going to find on this page things that match that. So I'm going to do a Command F. I'm on a Mac. If you're on Windows, it'll be a Control F. And that brings up your browser find. And I already have the word pumpkin put in here because I was testing this earlier. And this is going to let me jump to the word pumpkin on the page. And I can go ahead and click those arrows and I can jump to these different things and I can see options that might be really good matches for what I'm looking for. And some of these are really fun. And you can do the same thing with cats. So let's go ahead and switch that up and do cat. And we can find spooky cats and other fun things. And so that's essentially how the dynamic search, quick filters, and find work inside of Mylio Photos. It's very, very similar. So let's go ahead and do a search here in Mylio and narrow this down and get the, the same kind of experience. So right now I'm in dynamic search, and I've been recently photographing a lot of the California missions. So I'm going to just type in mission and hit enter. And that's going to pull up a number of pictures, folders, places that have mission in the address, and even events and albums I've created. It's also going to find text and photos. So if there's something that says mission, it's going to find all of that. So that's pretty great. I'm going to go ahead and go to the top here, and under Photos, I'm going to choose View All. And then let's go ahead and narrow this down. Let's say I only want to see pictures from this year. So I'm going to go over here and open up my quick filters, click on that filter icon. And I'm going to go down by date, and let's go to by year, 2020s, and let's pin 2024. So now I have all of my pictures that I've taken this year. I also want to go up here into my ratings, labels, and flags, and I want to find all of the pictures that I've marked as picked or with flags. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my pick flag. And again, that narrows it down even further. So I've got all of my best pictures from my most recent trip to a mission. Now within this grouping, let's say I want to find every picture that had a fountain in it. I've gone through and I've done some keywording ahead of time, so I know that that is in here, so I can go ahead and do a Command F. That pulls up my find up here in the upper right, and I can type in fountain, and that's going to go ahead and highlight any picture that I have a keyword or some other indication that there's a fountain in that picture. So that's pretty cool, and that really helps me narrow in from my library of, it's over 125,000 pictures now. Bring it down to a more manageable number and then narrow it down to find specific fountains at a mission, which is really pretty cool. So Mylio makes it really, really simple to find specific things in your library, and each of these tools can work independently. So you can look at your whole library, be in maybe all photos view, and use those filters to narrow things down. Or you can go through dynamic search and take that search, narrow that down, and then use find. Or if you're just in people view and you're looking for the pictures of a specific person, you can go ahead and type that in. So that's really cool. I love it, especially with people view here. So we've got our find up here. And let's say I want to find anything that I have of my great uncle Mickey. So I'm going to type in Mickey, and there he is. There's a video I have. I just have one file that he's in. I can go ahead and click on that, and then there's that video file. I could play that video. It's an old family movie we had digitized, and be able to see where he is in that video. So that's how that works. You can also do that in map view, in calendar, and so forth. And it's a great little tool. So again, to get to that find, you're going to do a Command or Control F. The other thing you can do is up here in the More menu, is you have the option to find in this view. So that's going to pull up that same thing. So if you want to just use it through a menu instead of having to remember a keyboard shortcut, you can locate it that way as well. So I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to share with you guys as far as when to search, filter, and find in Mylio Photos. And I hope that gives you some ideas of how to use these tools either separately or in conjunction with each other. They're very, very helpful, and I hope that you are enjoying those.